Need some guidance on your workout routine? Sign up for a free custom coaching session today. Meet with a coach, go over your goals, test a few moves, and walk out with a free 30-day custom plan. Sign up at the front desk today.
I've been on my fitness journey since 2020 and I've been learning about diet, training, all on my own. I've been challenging. But luckily, 24-hour fitness offers a free custom coaching session to all the members. Whether you're just starting to work out or you've been training for a really long time, 24-hour fitness with certified coaches will help you be better at level. Now, we started off with a little bit of mobility work and warm up is something I've never done before, and I'm so glad to do it. After the warm up, we went into a shoulder workout where we did movements that I haven't really done in a long time, so it felt really good and I'm really good. If you want to try this out for yourself, you've got to go to 24-hour fitness to try the free custom coaching session.
Looking for a fun way to stay motivated? Try a fitness class. From high energy cardio to plank, dance, and yoga. There's something for every fitness level and every mood. Great music, instructors, and a community that keeps you coming back. Check the schedule and jump into a class today.
It's not muted. I had to put that on the headphones so that the music doesn't pick up whatever's playing here. I said it's not muted. I just had to put the headphones on so that I don't get copyrighted here while I got this live stream on. I'm a monster. I'm a murderer. I'm a monster. I'm a monster. Tell me I'm not. Tell me I'm not. Tell me I'm not. Bitch ass. I'll kill you. Bitch ass nigga. What? 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 Shit. Allah. Allah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Jihad fi sabilillah. Let's go. Allahu Akbar. How you doing, fam? Oh, so slippery. It's up. Is that comes? Fuck you. Fuck you, alright? That's what's up. Fuck you, bitch ass nigga. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you, cuz. That's right, I am that guy. I am that guy. You better know it. Here, Shadow Realm. Shadow Realm. Yeah, that's all you, brother. I got time for that. Stop, motherfucker. I don't care. Yes. Okay. I mean, you could say this is a 12-round, boxing round. I'm doing 36 minutes. I'm at 30 minutes right now. 6 more minutes to go. So, how you doing, Paul? How are you?
Oh, good.
Say
Good.
hi. Say hi to my live stream.
See.
Oh. Almost done. Y'all know what comes next. Y'all know what comes next. All right. Y'all know what comes next. Time to read some of your disrespectful comments from a bunch of bums that never amounted to anything in your stupid lives, but you decide to come to my live and start talking smack. That's all right, though. All you're doing is feeding the algorithm. That's it. You know what I mean? You're feeding the algorithm. You're feeding the algorithm. You inferior, you inferior sack of ape shits. That's right. That's right. I'm the, I did all this fasting while fasting on Ramadan. A lot of you couldn't even do this with full fuel energy in your tank. I did this. I did this while fasting during Ramadan. What you think of that? Huh? What you think of that?
I got 4 different
What's up, fam? How you doing, man? How are you? Good, good. Doing all that while fasting for Ramadan, and I got 5 hours till I could eat and drink. Hell yeah! Woo! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! All that while fasting. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Woo! I'm the fucking man. Allahu Akbar! All that while fasting for Ramadan, baby. Woo! Good, good. I feel uh you know, the normal headaches that you get when you don't have, the right amount of water. But, it's a good mental test, so that when the Ramadan is over and I get back to like doing, my normal training routine, it's like it feels easier because it's like, wow, okay, now I could put electrolytes, now I could put protein, all types of fuel. But, going on empty it's just, it's not for performance reasons, but for just mental reasons for now,
You're moving with the same intensity, so
yeah, hell yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get my mind through it. You know what I mean? Just like trying to, get through that. But hey, listen, if you had ancestors that lived in a desert for, thousands of years, this ain't none. This is just DNA genetics shooting right up through my body and letting it take over. You know what I mean?
yes, sir.
Good seeing you, fam. That's oh, all right. I think the reason why it was blocked there momentarily was because I think I had the phone, sideways. So when you have the phone sideways, it kind of blocks out. Plus, I was kind of putting my weights away, so I just didn't want to, unnecessarily film anybody in front of me, or anything like that. So, uh, yeah. How about now? All right, you know what time it is. Whew. All right, let's uh, let's read some of these comments right here from the very top. All right. Floyd Roberts says hi. What's up, Floyd? Victory says, let's get some sauna scrap today. Dude, you are so bad. Trying to get me into like some scraps in the sauna, like, you know what I mean? But ain't no one's really here for that. But he says, hi. I met Boston Celtic player at the hotel. Wow. Okay. Shout outs to Orange Pokemon trainer right there. Who was the player that you met? Ali Khan says, which one muted? Are you going to spar someone? Uh, no, just doing functional weight training. Ali Khan says, I don't know. I did not know you had a tattoo. Well, let's just say those were the days of Jahiliya, as they say. You know what I mean? Victory says, functional fitness at its finest. Facts, man. He says, is that Kamzat? I get that a lot. Oh, no, it's just Kyrie. That's right, man. I get that a lot. Same body frame, same no mustache, beard. You know how that goes. He says, let's go. Breaks are too long. He says, someone hit the link alarm. The lunk alarm. Yeah, that's kind of what they do at the what do you call it? By the way, the little, you know what? It's not a bad amount of pauses. Considering like I'm fasting for Ramadan, right? He says, someone hit the lunk alarm. Look at the explosion. Facts. He says, those abs are gonna be burning up. Facts, bro. He says, sure, the gym loves seeing this dude walking up. Sure, the gym loves seeing this dude walking up. Yep. I don't know what you mean by that. Last time he almost got into a fight in the sauna. Here we go with the sauna thing again. Let me see these messages. Okay? He's like, they're like, here comes the clown, throws the weights all over the place. He has no respect. Yeah, I mean, you got no respect coming into my chat like that, trying to disrespect me. He says, "Are you trying to impress someone?" No kidding. I'm freaking live streaming this on YouTube. Of course, I'm trying to impress someone, idiot. Soft, yeah, but you couldn't do what I do, though. Says, "What a sweet boy. You're a sweet boy. How about that?" And then you're up out of here, sent to the shadow realm. Victory says, "Damn, I was letting him stay because I wanted you to go off on him, bro. You're kind of what do you call it, like a little rebel rouser over there, right?" Victory says, "I would love to be able to train with you, man. We'd go nuts for sure, bro, for sure. Get some of that Ohio energy over here on California west side. He says, "How many rounds do you do?" So that workout was about, like, 40 minutes. So I would say about, that's, at least, in boxing rounds, 15 rounds. In MMA rounds, that's way more than 5 rounds. So yeah, and then that's nonstop. Very few breaks in between. Purpleism, he says, you're gonna miss them, piss them off. Okay, I mean, what do you think? Like, do you think I care? He said, seems to be a common complaint. Perp. Yeah, for real. I mean, you've been missing some of the live streams here. He says the race whisper does what he wants. Facts. Victory says, hit some. Oh, okay, well, maybe next time. He says, let's get a sauna scrap. There you go again with the sauna scrap. He says, why are we blacked out? No, we're not blacked out at all, actually. Here we are. But all right, man. Yeah, I'm gonna probably sort of limit my sauna time, because I mean, look, it's bad enough that I'm already, like, taking out a lot of electrolytes out of my body, right? So I'm gonna probably just slow down on the sauna. He says the screen was black for a bit. Were you able to hear the conversations that was going on, though? Because I had my headphones on, was just having some conversations with the people on at the gym. So he says, yeah, but can't you eat as soon as it's dark? Yes, dude, come on. It's just because it's dark in here, it doesn't mean that it's dark outside. It's nowhere near dark outside. It is 1:26 p.m. In the West Coast right now, which I would assume is probably what is it? 3 o'clock where you're at, Marty? 3 or 4 o'clock or so. He says, yeah, but yeah. So it's like 3 or 4 o'clock or so where you're at in Ohio, right? So yeah, it's dark, dark, and sundown time here is probably around 5:20 or so. Yeah, I mean, look, notice how 4:27. Okay, so right around that time frame or so. Yeah, man. So I think sundown in in your part of the world is probably like 5 or 6 o'clock or something like that. So yeah, you know, um, yeah, man, yeah, yeah, man. What's up with the Yeah, I think it's around 6. Okay, so quite around the same time here, in the West Coast, just right around that same time or so. Um, yeah, man, yeah, good stuff, man, good stuff. Yeah, what was up with that? What's his name? That Jax guy or whatever. You know what I mean? What was going on with him, bro? You know what I mean? The dude had some serious problems or whatever, right? You know what I mean? Like, he says, yeah, only 5 more hours and you can grub. Yes, 5 more. Yeah. 4 to 5 more hours or so. 4 hours more so, because just trolling you. Yeah, because once it's like 5:30 or so, man, once it's 5 o'clock, it goes by rather quickly, like really quickly, just like that. It goes like that. You know what I mean? It goes, super quick. So, um, yeah, man. I don't want to, I don't want to sit too, I don't want to sit too long in the sauna, because obviously, it's not one of those things where I can get electrolytes, but just trying to I guess kind of get some good sweat in. You know what's good about this sauna though, aside from obviously weight cutting, and aside from also the VO2 max training, that I kind of do in there. What's good about it also is that uh, what do you call it? You kind of sweat out a lot of toxins on it too. So he says not even water. Yep, not even water. Just like what I was telling you, right? I saw this Muslim couple that had a TikTok or whatever, right? And then they were selling a shirt for Ramadan, and it said on the shirt, it said, yes, not even water. So I don't know if that's where you got it from, or if that's just something that you got, or or maybe Marty Miller just has what do you call it? A strong what do you call it? A strong eye for marketing strategies. You know what I mean? You came up with a race whisperer. You and Mark Haney came up with ADD gang. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, you're a brilliant marketer, bro. You really are, man. You got some brilliant marketing skills, my boy. You know what I mean? You definitely got some brilliant marketing skills. So not even water. I mean, you didn't come up with that, but I highly doubt you saw that somewhere. And if you did, then I'm sure you would kind of preface that, let me know on that. So yeah, man. He says, do you ever cheat and eat an ice cube? Um, so an ice. You know what? If you're going to put an ice cube in your mouth, I'm assuming you should probably like just spit it out. But then again, yeah, you know what? That is kind of cheating, isn't it? Because obviously, water will get in you in some kind of way. So no, I've never really, drank an ice cube while fasting or anything like that. Obviously, because that would, invalid your fast in some kind of way. Um, uh, yeah, no, none of that. None of that whatsoever. Although I have, dunked my head in water, obviously, he says, I didn't see it anywhere. Okay, okay, so you didn't see anywhere. Then there you go, man. You just have a brilliant mind for marketing. That's just, what it really comes down to. Marty Miller, the brilliant marketer. Marty Miller, the brilliant marketer. Hey, Triple M. That's what it is. He says, how many years have you participated in this? 20, oh yeah, 20 years, man. 20 years. I've been doing that. So since my very early 20s, I've been fasting, every year, so it's good, bro. Look, I think fasting has has anti-aging derivatives. That's what I think. I think there's a whole lot of anti-aging derivatives that come from fasting, whereas you look at cultures, let's say, that sort of look down on fasting or whatever. It's sort of like one of these situations where they kind of tend to get old fast or whatever. They tend to have certain health issues a whole lot sooner. He's like, oh wow, so you've been so for some reason I didn't realize you became a Muslim that long. It's like I was thinking it was like more than 10 years ago. Man, time goes by rather quickly, bro. And well, let me just say this, right? Um, no, I can't talk about that. Sorry, that part I can't talk about. But I was gonna say something about some some military stuff from 20 years ago. But no, I'm not gonna speak on that. But yeah, I'll put it like that. Yeah, been one for quite a while, and and it's great. It's great. It's always a gred challenge every year. Every year it's always different. And here's another thing too that's sort of important to understand about that, right? Fasting in one part of the world is different than fasting in another side of the world. You know what I mean? It's very different. For example, if you are, let's say, a Muslim that lives in the Netherlands or in Norway or in Denmark, right? Like those countries have a different fasting period because they have a different set of hours that ranges from, from sun up till sundown. So, for example, the sun up and sundown here in California is somewhere between 5:50, 5:40 to 5:50 a.m., right? So that's when I stop, drinking and eating anything. I wake up like around 4, eat, drink. So it's not too bad, right? Like realistically, if you think about it, the last time I ate drank was 5 hours ago. He says, understandable. Would love to hear more about your military career, though. Of course, of course. He says, I've noticed you don't talk about it often, which I totally respect. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, yeah, just we'll leave it at that. But um, I will say this though, every year it's different. Like in some years in California, it's like 14 hours. This year it's only 12. So 5:40 a.m. all the way till 6, close to 6 o'clock at night, like just right under 6, maybe like around 5:40 or something like that. So that's really about it. You know, um, you say, yeah, understandable. Yeah, 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 for sure, man. So yeah, just trying to kind of limit the time that I'm in the sauna for that reason, because I kind of don't want to overheat per se. So it's kind of just one of them things. All right, so we got the pool empty, so we could certainly do that. He says, yeah, not drinking would kind of suck. Every single Some of your favorite Muslim fighters probably do that as well. You know what I mean? About Khabib and Khamzat, right? Uh, Khamzat had that fight with Gilbert Burns, if you remember, right? When he had that fight with Gilbert Burns. And what a lot of people don't know is that uh, he was fasting for Ramadan during that fight, the Gilbert Burns fight, which is why he looked like the way that he did, which is why the fight was a whole lot more competitive than it should have been. Because I want you to think of it like this, right? So that fight was in Jacksonville, from what I remember. So Kamzat did not eat food that whole day or drink until he was in the arena, until he was in the locker room. And then, he broke his fast in the locker room. After he broke his fast in the locker room, he prayed in the locker room, prayed the sundown prayer, the Maghrib prayer, and then walked out to the cage and fought Gilbert Burns. And you saw what you saw by the rest of it. So the most water that Kamzat consumed was in between his corner. So put that in perspective. He says Muslim fighters should just train first in the morning, then sleep all day. Well, that's what Khabib does, right? Khabib, for example, man, you will never catch him or Islam or anyone in his team fight during Ramadan ever. Which is why it was surprising to me when Uncle Liev actually took that fight with Alex Pereira. Um, yeah, that was the one where he won. And then the second time around, that was not Ramadan. So I think he lost that one. Or was it a Ramadan? Correct me in the chat if that fight was during Ramadan when Uncle Liev had fought Pereira, although it was a couple of months ago, so probably not. Right? I think that their first fight was during Ramadan. For sure. For sure their first fight was during Ramadan. And then yeah, he says eat and drink all night and then do it all over again. Yeah, yeah. So if you think about it, it's not really that bad. He says, okay, the first one probably was during Ramadan. Okay, so that's about right. So the second time around when he lost, it wasn't during Ramadan. But from what I heard, he said that he broke his fast during that Islamic. Now, okay, so I live in Sacramento, right? I would drive down to LA sometimes, and I would be excused to not fast if I was driving to LA. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Traveling in the ancient time meant that you had to be on a horseback or you had to be in a camel and you had to ride around in the desert, and it was a very hot conditions. Whereas if I'm driving through the California high a freeway, on the 5 South from Sacramento to LA, I mean I'm in an air conditioned car, right? I sure it may be hot outside. Sure, I may run across some high elevations, like if I'm in what is that town in Southern California, LeBlanc or something like that, right? There's a lot of high. It's like a high elevation town that you hit before you hit Southern California, right? But it's not really that bad. right? So some guys I know, like I know a few of these Arab dudes that that sell that that are in the car business, right? So they go down to LA, buy some cars off for an auction, and then um when they're down there, what do you call it? They break their fast during Ramadan, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, yo, well, brother, we're allowed to break our fast because this is clause that we are allowed to break our fast because it is traveling. Yeah, but you're being a pussy. You know what I mean? Like, like you're in an air conditioned car. You know what I mean? Like you're chilling in the car. It's no different than if you were at home playing video games, driving in GTA, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, so what's the difference? He says, yeah, I just looked and the flights out there aren't too expensive. I really would love to come for a couple of days and train you. Inshallah, man. Inshallah, let me know, bro. If you're ever in Sacramento, of course, we can absolutely train. And how awesome would it be? That I come in and check you out at my hotel at your hotel room. Show you around Sacramento. Um, Introduce you to the homies. Of course, that one right there has to look like this. If I'm gonna have you around the homies, I'm gonna have to make it look like this. Just like just like if me and MMA Guru were to fight on the same card as John Jones and Tom Aspinall, after me and John Jones beat Tom Aspinall's ass and MMA Guru's ass, it's gonna look like this at the after party. Stuff for law, stuff lost you. Yeah. There we go. I'm back. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Yeah, the phone overheated. That's why. That's what happened. The phone overheated. So yeah. Um, there we go. Yeah. The phone overheated. So what happened was the phone overheated, and now we're back right now. Yeah, the phone overheated for a little bit. So lesson learned. You don't bring your phone into the sauna, and if I'm gonna get into a fight in the sauna, it better be quick, okay? Because if it's not quick, the footage is gonna run out because of the overheating. So imagine that. Imagine you're provoking me to get into a fight in the sauna, right? Imagine this, right? You're provoking me to get into a fight in the sauna. I get into a fight in the sauna, and then the footage is lost because the phone overheated. So yeah, let me know if you guys are back. If you guys can hear me again, let me know on the comment section below right now. If you guys can hear me again, let me know if we're back at this right now. So the phone was overheating in the sauna, and that's what happens. The phone overheats, and that's what you get. So yeah, I'm gonna get some swim time in right now. So if you'll excuse me, yeah, we're gonna get some swim time in here real quick. All right, boys. Almost up out of here. Ugh. Yeah. So not only did we get a good swim session in there, we also got some good cardio circuits going on at the same time. Lovely stuff. Lovely, lovely stuff. So obviously, if you're watching right now, the screen is black because I'm going to be in the shower section. So you know how that goes. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing to see over there. But I will continue the live as we're about to get done up out of here. All right, got that shower in. We're gonna walk up out of here, and then we're gonna talk a little bit of some MMA. Okay, so stay put. Hold quick for a second. This is what I love about having a keyless car, right? I could just keep my keys in the backpack and it would open the car up for me, even if what do you call it, even if I don't have the keys in my hand. And it would automatically open it for me if I'm near the car. So, the beauty of modern technology in it. The beauty of modern technology in it. Yep. All right, boys. We are up on Ed here. Yeah. So earlier, what happened was I think the phone had lost connection. The phone had lost connection because what do you call it? It was on it was just overheating, and so word to the wise, don't keep your phone on the sauna too long, because there is some dire consequences that come along with that. So yeah, you know, yeah, man. Have a good one. Hi, you as well. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. You see, you could rent some of these scooters out right here. So yeah, man. Imagine, you're out here, and you know, once you're done working out, you could go watch the Kings game right here. You go watch the Kings practice. Whichever. There it is, man. There it is. Yep. So it looks like we got some people, coming back right now. You know what I mean? What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Yep. We back at it once again. Man, I feel awesome. I know it's not the most ideal situation to train while you're fasting, but I got to be honest with you. I feel, just making sure I got it on the right side there. Yeah, I feel pretty awesome, man. Getting that in. So as I just looked in the flight, oh yeah, we read that part already. Okay, not much really going on in the chats right now. So kind of wanted to finish off with my thoughts on UFC Mexico this week. So obviously, yeah, current event news. You guys know that there's a crisis going on in Mexico right now. By the way, around the same time that they're going to have a UFC fight down there. Obviously, it's right down in Mexico City. So not much of a problem apparently. But, you know, I would imagine it would still be a safety issue if it reaches far enough, but it doesn't seem like it, at least not from the assessment of the UFC or the U.S. State Department that's deployed down in Mexico, or the Mexican government. They don't seem to think it's a problem, and if that's the case, well, good on them. So the show continues and the show goes on. Soup says, your mic is horrible right now. Yeah, sorry. Okay. All right, what about now? Let me know how it is. How does the mic sound right now? Let me know if the mic's sounding a little bit better right now. I had to turn off the headphones for that one, just so just so we can get some good mic action going on there. Let me know if if that's if the mic's going on. He says that's better. Okay. All right. So as I was saying, while I was talking, while I had to adjust the mic. All right, so obviously, the crisis going down in Mexico right now. They have a UFC fight going on there. We thought, they might have canceled it due to safety issues, but it doesn't seem like the State Department that's deployed down in Mexico or the Mexican government seem to think that it's a problem, so they're going to commence and let the show go on. With that in mind, as I was looking at the card, I sort of noticed there's a lot of guys there in that card that, I mean, quite frankly, in the standard of the UFC and in high-level mixed martial arts, right, a lot of those guys probably don't deserve to be in that card, but the reason why they probably put them on that card is, for the simple fact that they just needed some fill-ins. They needed some guys to get in there, and you got guys that are coming off of losses, guys that are that lost at the Dana White Contender Series and then came back. So it's a card of second and third chances overall, and that's sort of what you got going on there. And it'll be really interesting to see how a lot of these guys redeem themselves with the type of situation they have going on. Just second chances type of fighters, guys that are coming off of losses from Dana White Contenders, right? And guys that are given a second chance just based off the regional location that they are around. So if that's the case, all right, it'll be really interesting to see how that's going to go down and how that's going to go. Yeah, man, really interesting things ahead, and hopefully it's going to be a good card. Hopefully it's going to be an interesting card. But for now, guys, listen, that is all that I have for you on this one right now. I'd love to chat with you guys, but, I'm obviously live streaming on my phone, and I'd like to use my phone to make some phone calls. So with that in mind, like and subscribe. See you in the next one, inshallah. Ain't none of y'all training like this while fasting for Ramadan. Okay, a lot of y'all ain't even training like this while you got full fuel in your body and all that. So I just wanted to say that, to say this, and that's that. So know your role, know your place, and know where you're at.